Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to ProGuides. My name is Andrew and today we're going to be giving you 5 tips for getting aggressive in Counter-Strike. Now, it's tough to do it right. One wrong move and you'll find yourself in a room surrounded by enemies with no way out. Like that bit in Star Wars with Han and the Stormtroopers. But with our tips, you will be on the right track. Getting aggressive is a high-risk, high-reward tactic. If it pays off, your team can get themselves a man advantage or early info. But if it doesn't go your way, your team is down a player and the enemy can exploit your weaker setup. We're going to go over 5 ways that you can increase your chances of success with your aggressive plays. Let's get those W's, boys. Our first tip for today is all about having confidence. If you're going to commit to being aggressive, you have to be all in. I know, crazy concept. Now, there's no room for being timid or modest. You have to push into these engagements knowing that you're going to come out alive, knowing that you're going to get that kill. Having this confidence enables you to play with the enemy's expectations. You can do things the enemy wouldn't even expect because the chances of it working are usually low. Stewie2K jumping through smokes isn't just a meme. It worked because people didn't expect him to do it. Just look at Simple. He's got his very own graffiti in the game because he takes the chances that other players wouldn't, because he believes that it's going to work for him. Now, obviously no one is Simple and he can do things no one else can, but a big part of his success is his commitment to his plays. He jumps in with both feet, and by the way, this is not us recommending you start no-scoping across bomb sites like Simple. We don't all have Simple's track record to give us the confidence boost we need to get aggressive, but until you start taking those chances, you'll never know what works and what doesn't. Are there going to be failures? Yeah, absolutely. But each time something doesn't work, you can look at the demo, figure out why it didn't work, and then fix it. Our second tip is to not overextend. Now, this one applies mostly to the CT side of the game. You can get aggressive without trying to take out the entire map. Getting aggressive doesn't mean you go hunting for frags. It just means you start pushing into parts of the map where you expect to run into trouble. On your CT side, you'll often do this as a part of an info play. You're looking to get information about the enemy so your team can stay one step ahead early on. By probing the T side of the map, you can find out if they're pushing towards your bomb site. From there, you can relay info to your team so that they can adapt their defensive setup. The most famous example of this is a sneaky beaky play from Snacks during Katowice 2014. Now, he pushes through B apps on Mirage, and instead of moving deeper into T territory, he holds the stairs area. Now, his aggression and some lucky timing gave him all the info he needed on NIP. But if he kept pushing and overextended, he would have ran straight into NIP players. Aggression doesn't mean running around the whole map, it just means pushing into areas you're not expected. But remember to have everything in moderation, even aggression. A little is often enough. Tip number 3 is making sure that you have the right tool for the job. Getting aggressive means you're going to be on the move a lot more than usual. Now, we hope you've been practicing your fooning because you're gonna need it. Since getting aggressive is so risky, you probably don't want to be pushing around the map with an op, unless you're Zywoo. So instead, investing in an SMG or a shotgun can be the way to go. The cheapest viable option is a P250, but a lot of players will upgrade to a Deagle to make this kind of play work. A few spam clicks from a Deagle can be just the thing you need. There's no sense in investing in high-cost, low-mobility weapons when the whole point of your aggression is to be mobile. By putting your cash into something smaller, you can instead use any successful aggression as a way to steal an enemy's weapon. Take advantage of the moving accuracy and movement of low-tier weapons to get your aggression off to a speedy start. Our fourth tip for aggression is about becoming friends with pre-aiming and staying alert. This is more relevant to the T side than the CT side, but you need it no matter which team you're on. Becoming pals with pre-aiming gives you a head start on any aggressive play. Time seems to move differently in CS. A split second can make all the difference, so staying in a constant state of anticipation can give you just the advantage you need to take down the enemy. Pre-aiming on its own is great. You're reducing the time it takes for your crosshair to find the enemy. You do this by predicting where they'll be and looking there in advance. But this on its own isn't enough. You need to be vigilant. You need to act like you already know that an enemy is there and you're just waiting to frag them. The fraction of time it takes for your body to recognize an enemy's presence and then react by clicking your mouse can be the difference between life and death. If instead you act like you're sure the enemy is behind every corner, your reaction time will be quicker. This is a tough thing to improve because it's not just practicing a skill over and over. This is about changing your mindset and staying on high alert. Our last tip for today is to make sure that you know the lay of the land. Map knowledge is no joke, but it's not enough to just know the layout. If you're planning on getting aggressive, you need to know which areas are best suited for it. It's true that some areas are just straight up better for getting aggressive on and others are worse. For example, let's look at mid on Mirage. If you're a CT getting aggressive, there is super high risk. If you push up to top mid, you have nowhere to run back to if you do encounter enemies. You're forced to use up a teammate's presence and utility to keep you safe. You run back to connector while your teammate occupies the enemy. On the other hand, if we look at a CT pushing through apartments on Inferno, it's a different story. The corridors are narrow with 90-degree turns along the way. If a CT spots an enemy, they can drop grenades and use the architecture of the barriers for their escape. If a CT runs into an enemy, they can drop grenades and use the architecture as barriers for their escape. Getting aggressive isn't just a case of pushing through where enemies are, you have to consider your surroundings as well. By improving your map knowledge, you'll be more familiar with which areas work and which don't, with an aggressive playstyle. Using these tips, you're sure to improve your aggressive playstyle. Now remember, going aggressive is very risky, so be sure to balance this playstyle with more conservative rounds as well. If you're aggressive all the time, the enemy will just predict it and counter you. But every once in a while, a fast-paced, aggressive round can catch the enemy off guard. Now that's it for today from us guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you have any tips or tricks for getting aggressive. And if you'd like to learn more about Counter-Strike, be sure to check out ProGuides.com. My name is Andrew. You can catch me on Twitch under the name Acebox. And until next time, good luck in your matches.